What's up, boys? Got another interesting topic of discussion that crossed my mind today, so I thought I would just get right into it. I don't think people under the age of 16 should have smartphones. Or at least if they have smartphones, they probably shouldn't have social media apps on them. Just the usual texting, calling, email, calculator, like the regular features of a phone, minus the social media aspect. 16 might seem a little late, and I disagree because a few reasons. Before I even get into my reasoning behind it, I just want to explain why this topic crossed my mind in the first place. Just thought it was an interesting, I got some lore for you this time. So, where I live, the local government, in the country I live, the local government passed a law recently saying that minors, in public schools are not allowed to bring their phones, their smartphones, but their phones in general, into the classroom anymore. So, I don't know if this applies to private schools. Probably not, because those aren't regulated the same way as public schools are, as you can imagine. But yes, you can no longer bring your phone into class anymore. So they basically told the teachers to take the phones at the beginning of the day, lock them up, and you get it back 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., whenever the bell rings to go back home. And this is sparking a discussion where I live. Teenagers, mostly, this applies to younger children too, who happen to have smartphones under, the age of 13, 14, whatever. It happens. It's stupid. Some parents feel the need to buy their kids a smartphone at age 10. I don't get it. But anyway, this would apply to elementary school students. But I want to focus more on high school students. Teenagers, ages 12 to 16. Because, by the way, where I live, it's weird, but I know in most places in the U.S., for example, or even in North America, you finish high school at 17. Here, we finish at 16, and you still get the same amount of accreditation. I live in a weird fucking place, okay? But, so 12 through 16 is the age range I want to focus on, and this is sparking a debate amongst young teenagers about whether they can, being pissed off that they can't bring their phones into class. And it's funny, there's a debate, not a debate, but a protest movement now because of this. And they're essentially banding together and refusing to go into class, like a protest, because they can't bring their phones with them. And I've been seeing social media posts about this. People are saying that, you shouldn't make fun of teenagers that don't want to have their phones in class, and that, imagine how you would feel if something you needed with you every day was disallowed. Silly. Silly. First of all, there's literally zero reason why you would need to bring your smartphone to class, other than to fuck around and play games, or scroll through fucking TikTok or Instagram, or whatever the fucking your preferred scrolling app of choice is. How do I know that? Oh, but what if my mom calls me? Parents used to be able to get into contact with their children before smartphones existed. You know this, right? The old school way was they would call to school, and then the school would tell the teacher whatever class they're in, and then they would get up and walk physically to the classroom and tell the fucking child or whatever happened. Yeah. I'm 25, so I grew up in a weird time when smartphones did exist in high school, but they weren't really good. The top of the line phone I could think of at the time was the iPhone 4S. That was the shit when I was in 9th grade, 10th grade. I had an iPhone 4S, and man, I was ballin', bro. We had iPod Touch. That was the shit, okay? And just to let you know, the reason why we loved having these devices with us in high school was because we could play games. I have fond memories of certain classes playing Lego Star Wars, playing GTA San Andreas Mobile Edition. Man, I wasted so much time. It's probably why my brain is so rotted, because I was fucking, instead of paying attention in class, I was playing games on my mobile devices. So, in hindsight, looking at it in hindsight, I can totally understand why these kids are pissed about not having their phones in class. You know, if that would have been me at the time, you can't be playing GTA anymore in class, I would have been protesting too. However, as an old 25-year-old individual, no, I don't think that these kids need to have their phones in class. The reason the government banned it in the first place is because they got too many complaints from the teachers, from the school boards, from the administration, that these kids are fucking on their phones, texting all day and playing games all day. And they got sick of it, and they said, fuck it, we're going to ban it. And that's the end of the story. And before smartphones existed, there was no problem without needing a phone or a device in class. Okay, that just wasn't a thing. Like I said in my last video, if you don't know it exists, you don't fucking need it, right? Obviously. So that's basically the premise of the story. I just find it funny. But if you think these kids are crazy and you're like, oh my god, look at these kids, like they're protest, like they can't handle it. They're so addicted to their devices. Yeah, they are. The shit's addictive. I'm addicted to going on social media, and I'm 25. I can't even imagine what it's like for a teenager, a developing mind, you know. Addiction level times 10, you know, of course. Yeah, and something needed to be done, and I'm glad something was done. And I'm not blaming teenagers or minors or whoever, by the way, for this problem. It's entirely the parents' fault. You shouldn't be giving your kids a smartphone, especially one that has access to social media, before the age of 16. That's my philosophy. If I have kids in the next few years, that is going to be my philosophy. I don't give a fuck if they piss and moan about it. Oh, my friend has a phone. Oh, little Timmy down the street, he got his iPhone 18 for Christmas. I don't give a fuck, all right? I'm doing, for the greater good, all right? For the greater good of your development, of your attention span, and of your education, no smartphone until 16. 16, I think you're not done developing. Obviously, you're done maturing. 16 is super young. But I feel like you're old enough to the point where, you know, you could be responsible enough with a phone, with a social media. At that point, you know, maybe 17, but, you know, like I said, here where I live, you finish high school at 16. So once you finish school, all right, and you're going off to college, yeah, I don't think that you can make a case for not having a phone anymore. You're old enough, you matured, and you went through the process of not having one for the last 16 years. So I think that's okay. And I do think that overall, as much as it sounds like I'm being authoritarian or I'm being too hard on these imaginary people that I'm talking about in my head right now, it's one of those things where, like, it's like one of those you'll thank me later moments. And that's my position. I'm sure there are those who might disagree. If you do, let me know down below. And I don't really know what else to say about that other than that rare government W on this legislation. And you don't need a smartphone with social media on it until you're 16. You just don't. The shit's addictive, man. And no one's using it for anything educational purposes. I mean, some people are, of course, but the vast majority are not using it for educational purposes. They're using it to scroll on TikTok or whatever. And parents, please stop giving your children iPads at the age of fucking 1, 2, 3. Please, parents. So, by the way, sorry for the noise. It's raining, obviously, as you can hear. Parents, stop buying your children phones until they're teenagers, until they're at least 16 or 17 years old. Please. I know it's the easy thing to do. I know it's like, I'll buy them an iPad. I won't have to get them any more Christmas gifts. That'll cover it for the year. Yeah, of course, that's the easy fucking answer. But you're robbing these this generation of a real childhood where they go outside and play and get fresh air and interact with people in person, you know. Please, parents, it all starts with you. These kinds of laws, if you think the government is overreaching by passing a law like this, and you think it's ridiculous that they even need to make a legislation for this, then you should be mad at the parents, not at the government, because they're the fucking ones buying the devices for their children, which leads to all the problems that it's caused over the last 10 years, which is why then they have to come in and overreach. All right? It wouldn't get to this point if you fucking motherfucking parents were doing your jobs at home and you weren't being so lazy. And I know that sounds harsh, and I know that there might be some people saying, you don't have a fucking kid, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? And you know what? That is a valid comeback to this video. And I would be willing to hear out someone who makes that argument, because it's true, I don't have kids. So it's easy for me to fucking point at other parents and judge them when I don't have kids. Fine, fair enough, that's true. But I still stand by my position, and I don't think you should be giving your children devices, and I think it's nothing but fucking harm from the start. And they're just not fucking mature enough or ready enough for these things. I don't know. I don't know, man. There's a million videos on YouTube already about the iPad kids, and we don't even need to get into that, but this is where it stems from. It is. And I'm not a monster. I don't think kids shouldn't be allowed to watch TV sometimes or play video games, you know, in moderation, of course, but no social media and no smartphones and no iPads. That's where I stand on the fucking topic. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and subscribe if you want to hear more of my schizo ramblings. Peace.